So this is our final week of class, sort of. I have posted the final assignment. You're looking at the supremacy clause. There's an opportunity for extra credit. So when you get to that extra credit, it's asking you if you think there's enough support for constitutional amendments today. I would encourage you to look at the history of the Equal Rights Amendment. As you go through all 27 amendments for the Constitution, you will notice there is not the Equal Rights Amendment. That's something that was really thought about during the women's rights movement. I think it first went before Congress in the 1930s. In the 1980s, Congress finally passed it, but the states did not ratify it. It has to be, when an amendment is proposed, it has to have 75% of the states approve it, ratify it, for it to be added to the Constitution. And we can be thankful that our process is stringent, because I don't know what the process is to add an amendment in Mexico, but I was looking to compare our Constitution with Mexico's Constitution, because they're our neighbor to the south, and they have hundreds of amendments. And that is so confusing. For example, in our Constitution, we have an amendment for the prohibition of alcohol. A couple amendments later, we have one that repeals that original amendment to prohibit alcohol. That's confusing enough. When you have hundreds of amendments, I don't know how you keep that straight to know what the law is. So I think our process for ratification is good. I think it's good there's a high threshold, 75%. But also that has kept it limited. There's only 27 amendments to the Constitution. You're going to look at each and every one. Now, I do not want you to copy and paste the amendment and put it in. I want you, the way you get credit for the amendments portion of this assignment, which is a substantial amount of points, is you say the year it was ratified, and then in your own words, what the amendment is for. So like for the First Amendment, you can just pick one thing, freedom of the press. That's something we looked at with the Pentagon Papers. The Second Amendment, right to bear arms, and keep going. But just your own words, just short few words. If you copy and paste those amendments, you will not get credit for those. So bear that in mind. I will also attempt to make that clear in the announcement. There's also, when you're looking at the supremacy clause, so for many years when states started legalizing marijuana, it was still a federal crime. So there was a contradiction. Same with, as we've seen, some sanctuary cities, and then this ICE action, the Department of Homeland Security. So there are some contradictions sometimes. So you're looking at the supremacy clause in practice. You're finding a state law that contradicts a federal law. So here in Colorado, marijuana might be a good example of that. Sanctuary cities might be a good example of that. ICE has been active in our state. So you might be able to find some good contradictions to the supremacy clause. All right. Also, your final exam, it is open book, open note. It's not timed. Please do it yourself. Look up the questions in the OpenStax text. Go back through the things we've learned this semester. Do it yourself. Now, if you remember, I have multiple sections, multiple time periods. Some are full semesters, some are 10 weeks, and then colleges from all across the state. Not all colleges take their spring break at the same time. So we did not take a spring break in this class. So that means you have an extra week here, some wiggle room. So I have set everything to be turned in by 11:59 p.m. on May 8th. That's because my statewide sections, I have to post final grades the following week. So get to work. If you have questions, let me know. If you need an extension on that May 8th timeline, there is some wiggle room, but not enough room to swerve. So a deer ran out in front of me the other day, and I told my husband that I squiggled. I did not swerve. So that's where we have squiggle room, but we do not have swerving room. So let me know, but get to work. Diligent work, steady effort will see you successful. If you have questions, please text me. I do check my messages, but often it is not every day. So please text me. And I think that's all of our stuff. You have done amazing. Congratulations. And I wish you well.